All right. Welcome to today's presentation, which is about struggle versus ease, where we're going to really dive into talking about what it really means to live in the state of the wish fulfilled in regards to manifesting our ideals easily, making it easy, making it efficient, making it fun and adventurous. So in order to do that, we're going to go through this presentation together and dive right in. As you guys know, this is me recording without you guys being here, which is totally fine. But we'll launch through this together and we'll have a good time no matter what. So struggle versus ease. Neville Goddard said in his book Out of This World, he said, your desire is not something you labor to fulfill. It is recognizing something you already possess. It's something you already possess. Your ideal is something that you actually already have. The very fact that you have that desire implies its fulfillment. The thing that actually prevents us from recognizing that fulfillment is our own rational, logical mind that is all based on our past and what we deem to be true about the past and the meaning that we make. Or it's that we don't feel worthy of these things coming to us in the quote unquote future. But once we actually recognize that we actually already have it now, that's where the ease begins. All right, let's dive in. So ultimately, just like we talked about last week, you are pure perfection. The very being of yourself, the one that's aware of whatever stories you have going on, is actually pure perfection. You are God. Yes, God, who is I am. Choosing to play a certain role or state, you are not defined by what you have done or not done in the past. That's not actually what defines you. What defines you is what you say you are right now, in this current now moment. So in this moment, you can choose what you want to attach to I am. And like I said before, your desires already exist. Your desires already exist. You fulfill your desires. Well, your fulfilled desire already exists within a state, just like we're just talking about. And it doesn't matter what role you have been before you can access it now. What do I mean by this? So a lot of times we're trying to manifest something new, demonstrate something new in our world. And we'll do this type of stuff to prove ourselves right, or show off, or get somebody to approve of us, even including ourselves. I'll show them that or I'll show myself that I can achieve this goal. But when we think this way, it's actually coming from a state that we were once in, as opposed to just shifting into the state that we actually want to be in. So when we are really understanding that we are pure perfection and that our desires already exist, we have to then understand that there's actually nothing for us to do. We have to actually allow ease to be here and now. So what are states? I know we keep talking about this, but it's worth repeating. All of this is worth repeating. And if you can understand what a state is, this is 80% of all the work. Actually, 80% of the work would actually be the I am that you are. But understanding what states are actually would be the 20%. So I apologize for that. But if you can understand that you are not your state, you are not the state that you're in right now. You're the one who's aware of the state. So that being said, all things you would like to fix or heal are simply indicative of the state you are in. When you shift, they no longer exist. When you shift, they no longer exist. So let's use this as an example. If you are let's say normally you're in a state of anxiety and worry and things like that. And then you wake up one day and it's your birthday. You're feeling on top of the world. You get a bunch of gifts, you're feeling you're feeling great. Your normal state of being is almost non-existent, if at all existent. It's your birthday. Nothing can go wrong. It's going to be great. Why is that? Maybe it's a holiday that you really love, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, 4th of July. Well, some of y'all are international, so y'all don't celebrate the 4th of July, but stay with me here. It's a holiday. It's a smooth, easy day, no work today, nothing like that. You're feeling great, and there's nothing that can disrupt that. Notice on those type of days, nothing is coming from no worries that you would normally hold on to are going to be here on this day. But once this holiday is over, you revert right back to the state that you were commonly in, the state that you most often dwell in. But what happened on that day, on that holiday or that birthday? Where did all the worries and anxiety go? They weren't there. You didn't fix anything. You didn't heal anything. They just weren't there. So if you're ever in doubt, feeling worried or anxious, this is your call to be swept up in the I am rather than the external circumstances. So anytime you find yourself confused or frustrated by the projects that you have going on in your life, or maybe you're getting in an argument with the neighbor or something like that, all of that stuff is external circumstances. Use this as an opportunity to remind yourself of who you are and how this works. Because there's really nothing to earn. How can you earn what you already have? And like we talked about last week, what is it that you actually already have? It's I am. Forever and ever. That's all you have. It's the one true power. It's the one true wisdom. Because awareness is always shining light on the unseen reality. Always. So what do I mean by that? It's always shining light on the unseen reality. What I'm talking about right there is you being aware of what's going on out here in this 3D world is actually a projection of what's going on inside of you. It's actually a projection of what's going on inside. So what you are aware of, you think is outside of you, but it's actually going on within you. So if you can bring your your attention away from this external world and bring it within and go into the unseen reality where there's infinite possibilities, you can shine light on whatever it is that you want. And the more often you do so, it then projects itself out here into this world. So, question: what is the feeling of knowing you don't have to work for your fulfilled desire? What is the feeling of knowing you don't have to work for your fulfilled desire? I'm just going to leave y'all here for a second to just ponder that for a moment. Is there ease? Let me know. What is it? What's that feeling of knowing you don't have to work for your fulfilled desires? It's already here. So the table of content of the old man, content of the new man. We don't shift. I'm sorry. We shift, but we don't fix. Anytime a problem is arising, most people will go along and look for a solution. Let me go solve this problem. Let me go fix this thing. When in fact, what a person actually should do is shift into the state where the problem either A, doesn't exist, or it's automatically solved. Because all states are complete. There's no need to change or fix the contents of a state. And the contents of a state are the beliefs, the thoughts, the thoughts, the assumptions, the actions, behaviors that belong to any particular state. Every state has their own body of beliefs and thoughts, every single one. So this is where we have to realize that we do not settle. I said it twice here on the sheet. Don't settle. When deciding from circumstances, you tend to only solve problems, which only beget more problems. But if we're coming from this state of ideal and this state of ease, there's no problems to solve. In fact, there's an economist named Thomas Sowell, and he'll say that there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. There are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. What does that mean? It means that you're always, and we're going to talk about this here in a second, there's only a yes. Every time a problem comes up, we automatically think there's a solution. We need to go solve this problem. But the thing is, what we call solving a problem is actually just a trade-off. We're trading one thing for another thing, which only causes more issues, more problems. But if we could actually learn to sit still, be still, and then enter the new man, enter the new state, we'd be able to mitigate a lot of the issues, and we'd find more efficient ways of navigating the bridge of incident that we happen to be walking. So this is why we need to decide from the God self. When you decide from your God self, I want you to notice that there isn't a problem. There's just yes. because you're giving yourself that which you want. There's only a yes. Can you give yourself that yes? So when we talked about this, I'm going to ask a question here. When we talked about this on Wednesday, um, I actually appreciated y'all's answer. But the question was, from your God self, what do you truly want? And I suppose the question could be changed to, from your God self, what could you truly want? What could you truly want? All there is I am, folks. There's no desires. You're already fulfilled. The very fact that you have a desire should be indicative of the fact that you aren't in your I am state. The very fact that you're anxious, the very fact that you're worried, the very fact that you're frustrated is indicative that you're not operating from your God self. When you're operating from your God self or your second man, the new man, the actions you're taking are automatic. And if you ever find yourself frustrated or worried, you should automatically know that you're not in the state. What could you want if you were operating from that? Excuse me. So, because of this, we're tasked to normalize ease. Make it easy as Sunday morning. Imagine you're the type of person who has always experienced ease. You've experienced ease all the time. It's totally normal. And in fact, it's so normal, it's actually celebrated. You're praised for how easy it is for you. So some questions to help you normalize ease is, what's the feeling like? What is it like to just normally have an easy life? That things come to you easily. I remember when I first moved to New York City, when I moved to New York City back in 2009, I had just it was like my first night there, and I was going to meet up with a friend of mine, and some tourists came up to me asking me for directions, and I said, I don't know where what you're looking for or where that is. And the person was so surprised. They said, well, you look like you're from New York. And I was like, well, I just moved here yesterday. And I took on that state. It was normal to me. As soon as I moved there, I was a New Yorker. I didn't hum and haw. That's just who I was. That's who I am. And it was so true that the external world recognized that in me. What did that feel like? It felt normal. It felt easy. So where do you feel the sensation of ease the most? How do you see the world from this perspective now that life is easy for you? That your manifestations come easily for you? What are your conversations like? What are people saying? What are people saying? Do people say to you, man, Jerry, make that look so easy? Or man, Armors, man, you make that look so easy. Paula, you know what? Even as I'm thinking of it now, I'm remembering we were at this resort. Me and my family, we were at the resort with our good friends, and we were watching the sunset coming down over the Pacific. And I was just saying to our friend Annie, I said, man, isn't that just so gorgeous? Isn't that just so amazing? And she was like, oh yeah, this is so amazing. And I was like, yeah, man. It's like, isn't it awesome that we get to have this all the time? She was like, you get to have this all the time, Jerry. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, this is the type of stuff that happens for you all the time. And I honestly, I was like, I didn't know how at the time, I didn't know how true it was, but there she was saying it to me, implying one that yes, I get it all the time, but that she doesn't, which I revise and I pray that she recognizes that she can have whatever she wants. So how are your desires positioned now? How are your desires positioned now? So a Neville quote for y'all to consider. He says, I tell you, everything exists and can be just as real as this room. The job you desire exists. The home of your dream exists. The man or woman who is perfect for you exists. You cannot conceive of a state that is not already worked out in detail and waiting for someone to occupy. As a desire, it is only a dream, a mere image. But when the state is entered, it is the only reality. It's the only reality. So when you enter that state, when you enter that city, when you enter that way of being, that's the only reality. Don't even bother hemming and hawing. Fully embrace that state, because that state is the role you're playing in the movie called your life. So what role do you want to play in your movie? So what I want y'all to do and begin to do is to choose and move. Choose the state and then move into it. Fully relax into it. Make it easy, make it fun, but fully give yourself over to it. Don't overthink it. Don't try to figure out how to make it work. Don't overanalyze all the things you did in your past that say that you can't be it now, and fully embrace it as your new way of being. In fact, it's not even your new way of being, it's your normal way of being. And when you do this, do it with simplicity in mind. So, whatever it is that you're up to, ask yourself, is this truly what I want? So, something comes up that you might not like. Don't settle. Ask yourself, is this truly what I want? If it's not, go there, move. Does it light you up? If not, go there, move. Do the thing that lights you up, that gets you curious, that gets you playful. And then also remember to think about this. Whatever you're up to, is it coming from a state of trying to solve a problem, or are you actually living in the end? Make it simple. Make it simple. And once you've made it simple, let the state lead. Ease is letting your ideal state lead, y'all. Don't judge it or overthink it. What you're inspired to do with your ideal state, you'll be inspired to do. So just flow with it. Allow it to unfold. So we're going to start doing this. We're going to start having a little fun adventure, not a task, a fun adventure. Invite yourself to be in your ideal state as a fun adventure instead of a burden or a task. So when you're doing your meditations morning, noon, and night, and we'll get into the assignment here on the next slide, but when you're getting into this, when I give you these assignments and things like that, they're not tasks that you need to think of like things you need to check off of your to-do list. Think of it as you're going on this hot date that you're super excited for. You're about to enter your birthday. You're about to enter a holiday for a couple of minutes a day. And you're going to invite yourself to have ease. an adventure of a lifetime within yourself. And more questions to ask. We had a lot of questions today. What is the sensation of not having to figure anything out? Now that you don't have to figure anything out, where are you investing your time and your attention? It's crazy to think about, isn't it? Wait a minute, I don't have to figure anything out. What else am I supposed to do? Because we're so habituated to what? Ruminating, being anxious, trying to numb ourselves out, whether it's with, social media or even work or, the alcohol, the drugs, whatever it is that you're choosing to not allow you to actually embrace the fact that this is easy and you don't have to figure anything out. But it's trying to figure things out that kind of keeps us stuck and makes things hard, makes things a struggle. And that's not at all what this is supposed to be about. So we have a little 7-day challenge we're gonna put a pause to what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, and we're gonna do a little bit of a 7-day challenge here. So usually, we do the 3 times 3 or the 2 times 5. Well, in this 7-day challenge, if you want to continue doing that, do so. But this 7-day challenge is very specific to ease. In the morning and at night, I want y'all to reflect on how the day was fulfilling manifestations. I want y'all to it's ease. Is that what we're looking for? Is what we're looking for. So I want y'all to bask in that that ease, that reverence, that ever-present fulfillment and perfection. So when you're waking up in the morning, I wanted y'all to look into your day and imagine that all the things that you had to go on that day was just so easy, was bountiful, was pleasurable, was surprising, was wonderful, marvelous. I want y'all to just go through what you got going on in a day and just see it as easy. When my wife and I came here to the islands, when I manifested this, we would say to ourselves, it was super easy and super convenient. It was super easy. It was super convenient. And to the outside world, it probably didn't look like it was that easy or super convenient. But because that was the state that we were most often dwelling in, it didn't matter what was going on externally. When we look back, we see how easy and effortless it actually was. And I definitely revised that it really did unfold pretty perfectly. And that's what my challenge is for you for the next 7 days, is to see it fulfilled and see it as easy. And then at night, kind of like what we do with revision, in fact, this would be a form of revision, is to look back on your day and see how easy it was. See how easy and beneficial it was. So that's it. That's my little truncated little presentation. Obviously, I have a lot more fun when I'm with you guys. But this is a nice little change of pace, I guess, to do this type of thing. But really, you guys, excuse me, I want y'all to just really consider ease. Because your desire is not something you labor to fulfill. It is recognizing something you already possess. So that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great 7 days. I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Y'all stay blessed, okay? And if y'all have any questions, of course, hit me up in the Telegram and all that good stuff. You guys are wonderful. Peace and hair grease. There we go.